Good morning and welcome back into the Cowboys Report. Tom Downey here. Coming up on today's show, I want to hit some news we have not had a chance to hit yet. The Malik Hooker injury, where things sit on a potential Tyler Smith contract extension, and why Jaydon Blue and other young players were healthy scratches in Week 1, and if they're going to be active for Week 2 or maybe not. Let's begin with Malik Hooker. He did not practice in air quotes, wasn't a real practice, on Monday with a reported toe injury. Todd Archer called it a sore toe. I'm not going to panic on this one yet. I won't even get overly concerned until Thursday. I wouldn't be shocked if it was a did not participate from Malik Hooker on Wednesday, because it's Wednesday and a lot of the veteran players don't practice on those days anyway, even though you are coming off the longer week. If he's limited on Wednesday or Thursday, I think that's an indication he's going to be able to play. So it's one we will monitor, but not one I'm panicking about quite yet after, I think, a pretty solid debut for Hooker in the 2025 campaign. Now, it's Cowboys versus Giants week, and it's also Cowboys versus Giants week for Chat Sports. We're in a sub battle against Giants now. They had more subs than we did on Monday. Let's change that. You want free Cowboys videos each and every single day, multiple times. We're going to be averaging close to 2 per day here on the channel. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. Let's go to Jaydon Blue. He was a healthy scratch. He wasn't on the injury report. Until he's on the injury report, I'm calling it a healthy scratch. That surprised plenty of people. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer had a pretty long answer, but insightful answer as to the reason why on Monday at his press conference, why Jaydon Blue didn't participate. So bear with me. Long quote coming up. I'll kind of condense it down a little bit. But he said, young players, it hits at different times. You know, for Jaydon, extremely talented, but there's a way you have to perform, especially with the mantra of compete every day. If you're not putting it out there, you're not doing it right every day. If you take a step back on Thursday, maybe you did great on Wednesday. Not saying he did, but that's going to get noticed. This is an incredibly talented roster. You have to earn your chance to get out there. There has to be consistency. I'll speak to a guy like Tyler Booker. He has not been perfect. He didn't play perfect, but Tyler Booker has been very, very consistent. You know, each and every day, what you're going to get from him. Some of the young guys that were inactive, we've had those hard conversations with them. They understand where they need to go. I have no question that they will respond to that. Will that be this week? I don't know. We'll see. The cool thing for them is they can determine it. They might have a great week of practice, but because of numbers, they can still be inactive, or they could have an average week. We need them to step up because of different things that happen. But consistency is always the thing that we're looking for with young players. We'll talk about Jaydon Blue and some things that bother me about you have to earn it. But will Jaydon Blue play in Week 2? Prediction time. Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comment section of today's show. It is the pinned comment on today's video. Y for yes, N for no. The Cowboys sitting Jaydon Blue in Week 1, and then Brian Schottenheimer talking about consistency and implying / kind of outright stating Jaydon Blue didn't have that. I think it's pretty clear there are some frustrations with Blue. However small or big those are, not saying it's panic time, but clearly that was a contributing factor, if not the main factor, in why Jaydon Blue was a healthy scratch. Perhaps they're going to make that into a motivating moment of sorts for Blue and challenge him to be better and take a step forward. It is worth mentioning Jerry Jones at his 105 Through the Fan interview on Tuesday he basically said he wasn't sure if Blue was going to play. We'll talk about what he had to say about Mazi Smith, but he was kind of like, we'll see, in weird Jerryisms that aren't clear about Blue and what his future is. I want Jaydon Blue to get chances. I'm okay doing the you have to earn it thing, but sometimes that line bothers me. Because I get it. I understand where coaches are coming from. I don't want to be completely dismissive of it. I get it. They certainly see and they know more. They're intricately involved with these players. They have a better feel for them. But it's also never truly a meritocracy. It's not like Miles Sanders earned it in the preseason. Like, he's a veteran, so the rules are different for veterans than young players. Okay. I will say, I don't think Schottenheimer was just talking about Jaydon Blue. When he's talking about the consistency and the young guys being inactive, I think there are more players he's also kind of referring to. We'll get to that here after a word from today's sponsor, Ethos. As a father with one kid and a second one due any day, trust me when I say life insurance matters. It's not fun to think about what would happen if something happened to you, but you do need to be prepared. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. Ethos is a trustworthy company that disrupts the traditional life insurance industry, and it's more affordable than you might think. Ethos is an online platform that makes getting life insurance fast and easy to protect your family's future in minutes, not months. There is no complicated process, and it's 100% online. No medical exam is required. You just answer a few health questions and get a quote in as little as 10 minutes. 3 million families have completed their applications and trusted Ethos to help find the right coverage for them. So protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. Links in the comments section and the description of today's show. There were 4 young players who were inactive. Hakeem Adeniji is not a young player. Trevor Keegan just run the team, so not going to count him there. 4 notable young players who did not play in week 1. Jaydon Blue, Johnny Cornelius, Mazi Smith, Shamar James. We've already mentioned Blue. Cornelius, that might be more of a numbers game thing than anything else. I'm not going to read too much into it. But I do want to discuss Mazi Smith here. Mazi Smith, a scratch in week 1. Jerry Jones comes out and says Tuesday at his radio interview, he's probably going to be inactive again this week, which kind of flies in the face of the player's going to have a chance to earn it. And then, from Brian Schottenheimer saying that, and then Jerry just kind of undercuts the legs there. I think that Jerry Jones coming out and saying at his press conference, or his radio interview, I should say, that Mazi Smith is going to be a scratch is a really bad sign for Smith. He hasn't really been in the building that much because they've had some off days here coming off the extra week or extra time in prep. I don't like the path we're on for Mazi Smith. Brian Schottenheimer keeps talking about consistency or lack thereof. Then you've got Jerry Jones saying he's going to be a scratch again. We are rapidly deteriorating in a bad way on the Taco Charlton path. A scratch the first couple games of the season. And then what ends up happening? Cowboys are going to have some players coming back from IR. Where does that put Mazi Smith on the roster bubble? I feel bad, but I need play from him, and he can't even get on the field right now. It's a really concerning sign. I also wonder, and this is all speculative, so if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I do wonder if Shamar James was one of the guys that Shotty was talking about, because he mentioned several young players who were scratches that need to, be more consistent throughout the week, not always doing the things they have to do, from a practice, prep, planning, whatever it is perspective. He was a scratch, and they made Buddy Johnson active on special teams. I do wonder if Shamar is one of the players that Shotty was talking about. So who ends up being active first? JB for Jaydon Blue, MS for Mazi Smith, SJ for Shamar James. Which player do you think gets to be active on game day first for the Cowboys? Get those predictions in for me right now in the comments section of today's show. Both Jones boys really speaking about a Tyler Smith extension. I want to focus in on Stephen Jones' comments. They were first, and they were a little bit more, I think, easier to translate and read on air because it's not Jerry speak. Here's what Stephen said. We don't have any hard and final deadlines on contracts. If we did a contract 8 games in the season, so be it. I will say this. I love the thought process of most of the players that we draft is they have to keep their mind on their business, but it still doesn't mean we can't get a guy like Tyler Smith done during the season. Certainly, we'd be all for that. We also respect when players want to get down to business and focus on the task at hand. We're all about keeping our great players and guys who want to be the Cowboys and be part of something special. That's what we're about. I understand where the quote is coming from. And I think Steven said nothing wrong, even though I criticize him plenty. I don't think that quote is a good thing for a Tyler Smith extension. Steven's right. Oftentimes, players and agents have a sort of soft deadline where once they get to the season, you know what, we're at this point, let's just take the risk on playing out the remainder of the campaign and trying to make even more money next year. I don't think the Cowboys are late to a Tyler Smith extension. They are still on time. The deadline for me of are you late or not is the start of 2026 NFL free agency. Will a Tyler Smith deal get done before that timeline? That's entering the final year of your contract before free agency. Will the deal get done by then? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments of today's show. As long as, as long as the Cowboys are done with that deal by March 26, I will not complain. I don't think there's a player that's really due for a contract yet. Quentin Nelson is probably maybe on a similar timeline as Tyler Smith. There aren't as many young players out there. What I don't want to do is run the risk of a market reset, of a young guard ends up having a breakout season, or one of the Browns guys hits free agency and they just blow it up because it's free agency and crazy things end up happening sometimes. I don't think there's going to be another market reset until Tyler Smith gets paid. I just want to cut out the risk of there being a surprise one. That's what I want to do. Tyler Smith's current deal, he's got $4.27 million owed this year, $21.27 in 2026. Franchise tag would be around, it's the projected figure, we'll see what it comes in at, around $30 million. You guys can do math. That's $50-ish million of guaranteed money. It's a lot. It's actually over $50 million in guaranteed money if we start getting into the tag and everything else there. The fully guaranteed leaders when it comes to the money side of it is significant. We're talking about Chris Lindstrom right now leads the way at that $48.2 million figure of fully guaranteed money. He was also kind of an earlier extension, so his fully guaranteed money is a little bit higher. I kind of think you're going to have to significantly clear that figure if you're going to get a deal done with Tyler Smith. So my projected contract, and it's a lot here, I think at minimum you're going to be at the 55 fully guaranteed figure. At minimum. Guaranteed is going to be 70. You beat Tyler Smith. The per year figure, when we start getting franchise tags and stuff, like if you get it past this year, you're going to be hovering around $25 million per year. So it's and then this is actually relatively in line with the salary cap increase too, so it's not that crazy. There's a chance this becomes 4 years, $100 million. Like, that's just how the market has gone because the cap keeps going up and it could skyrocket again in 2029 too, by the way. Don't forget that stuff. So I think that the fully guaranteed money, because the Cowboys didn't do it that way for the DeRon Bland or Jake Ferguson deals, they were much lower in the fully guaranteed relative to the actual guaranteed money. I think that is probably the biggest sticking point right now.